Hi, this is Krishna from manfulwars.com. We're promoting polite patriotism, tell people stop being turned into rude, sketchy zombies making more, and instead respect, look, walk, talk, and feel great, communicate well offline about what they learn online, and be proud nationalists against globalism. So feel free to check out manfulwars.com for more on that. But this video, and support the manfulwars.com efforts as well. There's a PayPal donation and direct deposit information below. Important if you want to see more polite people who can communicate offline about all the great things people are doing online. So manfulwars.com, a great way to do that. But this video is called Golden State Blues, How Draymond Green Acted Like a Bitch with Kevin Durant. And Draymond Green, center or power forward for the Golden State Warriors, and Kevin Durant, center or power forward for the Golden State Warriors. They were playing the Atlanta Hawks basketball team on November 13th, 2018. It's currently November 14th, 2018 when I'm recording this. And the Atlanta Hawks are arguably the worst team in the NBA. Bunch of good young players and a good coach, but they're actively not trying to win games so they can get a high draft pick next year. And Golden State Warriors, two-time defending champions, three-time champions in the last 4 years. So Golden State should easily beat the Atlanta Hawks, typically, right? At least at this time. And so on November 13th, 2018, they had a game. The score was tied at the end of the game, and Draymond Green got a rebound, and he was dribbling up the court. And instead of passing to one of the best shooters in NBA history, Kevin freaking Durant, to try and have him at least attempt a shot with just a few seconds left and a tie game in the end of regulation, Draymond just kept dribbling, dribbled into traffic, and lost the ball. So the game went into overtime, and Golden State eventually lost that game. And during at the end of regulation, before the overtime period, Draymond and KD were arguing, and Draymond was saying a bunch of stuff to KD, and KD was saying a bunch of stuff to Draymond. KD was going, "Why didn't you pass me the ball? What the hell is wrong with you?" Draymond's going, "Blah blah blah. I'm Draymond Green. I'm badass. Blah blah blah." And they were yelling back and forth. And then they went into overtime with that kind of chemistry and vibe, and they lost the game. And then they went to the locker room, and the exchange continued, and Draymond supposedly called Kevin Durant a bitch and said, you know, what's wrong with your free agency, or what's up with your free agency, because he's going to be a free agent, or he could be a free agent at the end of this year. And there's some speculation that Kevin Durant might leave the team, and Kevin Durant got really pissed off at this because it was about basketball, and then what's going on here, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to explain how Draymond Green acted like a bitch towards Kevin Durant, just to set up what happened for those who are less familiar with it. For those who know, hopefully that didn't take too long. So first of all, Draymond Green is known as a fiery competitor. He's got to play on edge. He's a little undersized for somebody that often plays center, and yet he plays so hard, and he plays with such an edge, and he's such a trash talker, and he's such a good defender. He's won Defensive Player of the Year, and even at 6'7", he's going up against 7-foot guys, and he's putting it out there. But as part of his personality, he's known as somebody that's yelled at teammates, yelled at coaches, almost got into fights, and that's just the sort of pros and cons you get with him. You take the good with the bad when it comes to Draymond Green. However, if you're going to be the kind of guy that can dish it, then you got to be the kind of guy that can take it. So if Draymond Green is constantly getting on other Golden State Warriors to be like, "Man, why didn't you make that play? Dog, you got to. We're here to win, man. What's wrong with you? Let's go. We got to go. Come on, let's go. You can't do that. You got to pass to the best shooter." And if Draymond's going to do that to other people, then when he screws up, he's got to be able to have people do that to him, or he's got no credibility when it comes to being a guy who does that. Because you can do that, especially in sports. You know, you can get on your teammates, not go too far. But if you're talking about, you know, what it is, basketball, something that we all see, something that all happens, something that's basically within the rules of basketball, you can do that. And you can say, "Man, you got to pass it to the open shooter. You know, we could have got a better shot than that. Come on, man. You know, let's go. You know, you can get in people's faces, have that argument man to man, and settle it. However, if somebody can't do that with you, then that makes you a bitch. So when Kevin Durant, you know, said to Draymond Green, "Hey, Why did you dribble the ball from our side of the court all the way up the court and dribble it into traffic without us being able to get a shot off and then lose the ball and then regulation ends? We got to go into overtime when you could have just passed me the ball, 7 foot tall, Kevin Durant, one of the best shooters in NBA history, and with just a few seconds left, I could have taken a shot and could have possibly won the game, and it's almost impossible to block my shot. We had a real chance to win. So Kevin Durant was talking about basketball, talking about the basketball play, and he's saying to Draymond Green, why didn't you do that? And then Draymond Green gets his manties in a bunch. He catches his feelings. And he's like, why you do it? I'm Draymond Green. Don't you know me? I'm Draymond Green. I'm world famous Draymond Green. You can't treat me like a scrub. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? You're being a bitch. You do this to people, and when you screw up, nobody can say shit to you. Don't be a bitch, right? So that's one way Draymond Green acted like a bitch. Another way is Draymond was losing the argument about the basketball play. He was losing the argument about the basketball play, possibly in the huddle at the end of regulation and before the overtime. You couldn't hear much details, but you saw them arguing. And then supposedly in the locker room where they kept arguing, Draymond and KD kept arguing, Draymond, instead of talking about basketball and the basketball play and just going, my bad, you know what, you're right, I was a little heated, we all have egos, but now that we've argued it out, I'll be the better man. And now that I've had my ego and I've defended my ego, I realize when it comes to the pure basketball decision, I was on some bullshit, right? That's what he should do if he was not being a bitch in this situation. However, what Draymond Green did instead is Draymond Green changed the argument to, hey man, what's with your free agency? Kevin Durant, you're going to be a free agent at the end of this year. You're talking like you're excited about it. You may be here, you may not be here. We're not sure what's going on. So what's up with that, right? What's up with your free agency? Are you really committed to the team? Are you really one of us guys? Do you really want to be here? Why are you being a bitch? Why are you entertaining other possibilities? You're under contract with us, and yet we don't know if you're going to stay. And so KD's like, where the hell did this come from? What the hell is this? Why are you bringing this up? Right? Like, yes, I'm under contract to play with Golden State this year, and I'm doing a great job, and the team's doing very well. And at the end of this year, I may re-sign or I may leave, but we might win a championship this year. We're heavily favored to. So what the hell is your problem, right? So why are you changing the argument to about my free agency and how you feel about that? What the hell is wrong with you? And this is another way Draymond Green is acting like a bitch, because this is what girlfriends do. This is what girlfriends do. If your girlfriend is arguing with you, not all of them and not all the time and all that crap, but this is what they do. This is what mine have done. This is what, if you're guys out there and you've had them, what yours have done or whatever, right? Now, if I'm arguing with my girlfriend and she's catching feelings about some shit and the argument is whatever, and then she's losing that argument, then what does she do? She might bring up another argument. Well, you never liked my mother. So we weren't talking about your mother. Where did this come from? Well, you never liked my mother, and you know what? That makes you somebody that I shouldn't even have to listen to about this other stuff. And you're like, okay, great. Now we're arguing about this. And it's like, shit, then we got to argue about this. And then, I might get into something, and then she might bring up something else, and then you're getting madder and madder and madder. And the more angry you get, the more your jawline gets jutting and sexy, and the more you're really furious about this girl, the more she's turned on, the more she's convinced you really love her. She can really get you this upset. And then she's, starts to get a little worried, and you start to get a little, I kill you, bitch. I won't kill you, but I feel like I'm killing you. And then she's like, okay, I've pushed this. I've taken the initial argument, was losing it, brought up another one. That was kind of stupid, made things worse. I might have brought up a third one, and now you're just friggin' furious that we're still arguing about this shit when the first thing we were arguing about was some bullshit that you were losing and that we fixed early, and now we're still arguing, and you're, as a man, you're fucking pissed, and you're incredibly mad at her, and she's incredibly turned on, and then she's like, okay, I'm sorry, and then you get together and you have makeup sex, right? That's what happens, because she was losing the first argument, she brought up a couple others, she realized at some point she was being stupid because you held your ground and you thought this is crazy, and you got all mad, and when she saw you had that much emotion and that much invested in her, then she was sort of happy about that, and she saw your manly energy getting up and standing up for yourself and saying, I do not deserve to be dragged into this shit. What kind of piece of shit do you want to be dating? What the fuck is wrong with you, bitch? can't fucking just torture me with any stupid shit that comes up, right? And she's like, oh, wow, this is really a guy, and he seems like he cares about me because he's really mad at this point. This is cool. And then you get together and you have makeup sex, right? But when it comes to Draymond Green and Kevin Durant, why the hell is Draymond Green doing that with Kevin Durant? Okay, you're right. You know, the basketball play, after we yell back and forth, don't call me a scrub, don't be a bitch. And then Kevin Durant says, it's not about being a scrub. It's not about you being a bitch. It's about an objective basketball play that everybody in the friggin' world who watches that game can see and understand. You're a power forward. You're not a great shooter, especially outside the perimeter or outside the three-point line. There's a few seconds left. I'm standing there. You could throw me the ball and I could shoot it and I could win the game on behalf of not me, our whole team, our whole organization, all of our fans. And this is the shit you pull? And so Draymond's like, well, okay, so I'm losing that argument, but what about your free agency? Aha, are you going to be here? Are you really committed to this team? What's up with that? You know, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Right? That's a separate conversation. What the fuck? So that's why Kevin Durant just lost it and went, this is crazy. Now I'm really dealing with a bitch, right? And so Golden State suspended Draymond Green for today's game because actions detrimental to the team, right? Wasn't talking basketball, brought up KD. KD's a sensitive guy, you know, in his own way, right? And this isn't helping with that. But objectively, like, this is some bullshit, right? So anyway, I just wanted to share that about how, you know, like I said, this video is called Golden State Blues, how Draymond Green acted like a bitch with Kevin Durant. And yeah, BK Black Krishna from manforwars.com. There's donation information below. Feel free to comment, subscribe, get in touch, pass it on as you'd like. I hope this helps, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.